Hello, and welcome to my newest video. It's been a while, but oh well, it's the way it is. This video is coming out slightly later than I'd like it to, possibly even actually after the first episode has aired. I'm not too sure yet, but this, as you can tell by the title, is going to be my predictions for the last series, whatever, depends on where you live. Series of Game of Thrones. This is actually kind of a response, I guess, to a creator called Bridge4, who had a video that was his predictions. But in it, he sort of asks questions and he gives his own answers to them. So I'm going to answer his questions. I think his was for some kind of competition or something, but who has time for that? So here it is. I've been quite ill recently, which is why I haven't uploaded videos. Let's go with that. Question number 1 is, will the entire wall come down? Now, I hadn't actually thought about this before watching this video, because end of season 7 I was just like, well, yeah. Oh, by the way, obvious spoilers for anything up to the end of season 7. But you should know that by the nature of the video. But I sort of assumed the whole wall's going to come down, and then when I thought about it I was like, well, maybe it all doesn't, because just because you destroy part of the wall doesn't necessarily mean all the wall's going to come down. So I'm not quite sure. I think it makes thematic sense for the whole wall to come down, but whether we'll see that is a different matter. We may just never be shown it. Question number 2. What will happen to the Night King? The options are, will he be killed, healed, or other? I think there's an interesting argument for him to be healed in the books. I don't know if the show is going to go in the same direction. I know it's going to end in basically the same way as the books, but there are significant differences between the two journeys, and so I don't think that there's any setup for the Night King suddenly being healed. I mean, they could do all of the setup in the first few episodes and then have him be healed. And I guess it would make some sense to kind of, you know, pull that out of left field and kind of go, actually, he's not the big bad guy. We can heal him and do that. But especially seeing as what they did in season 7, where Jon killed one of the White Walkers and then all of the Whites, is that right? Yeah, the White Walkers are the ice ones and then the Whites are the zombies? I think so. But then all of the Whites around him then collapsed because, you know, they're like old vampires, I guess. If you kill the leader, then all of them die. But then there is a scene where, I think it's Beric says, all you've got to do is kill that one, talking about the Night King, and Jon goes, it's not that simple. So maybe he will be healed in the show. I think it's more likely he'll be killed in the show and healed in the books, but that's just me. Question 3, does Cersei survive? I don't know. There's a lot of things about Cersei and Jaime, thinking about them dying together, and I don't want Jaime to die. So I like Jaime. So I don't know. I think there has to be at least one merciful ending. I don't think both the Night King and Cersei can die. But I don't think they can also both end mercifully. One has to die, and one has to live. And I'm not sure how. I mean, I have kind of like the idea for a while that Jaime kills Cersei, and possibly even dies in the process. And so he's gone most of his life being sort of shunned as being a Kingslayer, but then he is then sort of heralded as the Queenslayer because he saved people. And this time people know he saved people. It's not just them two in the throne room and he kills her and then it's a big thing. It's like people know that she's gonna, you know, blow up King's Landing, and he saves people, and he saves people from that. I think that would be interesting, but I'm not actually too sure. If the Night King dies, then she'll probably survive, but who knows. Question number 4 is who will rule Winterfell at the end of the story? I think it's probably going to be Sansa, because that makes the most sense. I can't really see Arya being a lady. That's not really what she's about. It doesn't make much sense for Bran to do it either. Bran doesn't really want it. Because it would go Bran would be above Sansa in the line of succession because he's male. I don't think he'd want it, so I think he'd just go to Sansa. She seems to be doing a pretty good job as is. Question 5 is who will kill the Mountain, and question 6 is will Arya give Sandor the gift of mercy. I have a long answer for this, but it has several questions rolled into one, so I'm going to leave the answer to those two until I get to my big answer that encompasses, I think, 5 or 6 of these questions. A question here that I'm not quite sure where it comes from. It's question 7 is, does Arya kill Bran with the dagger? I don't know where that's from. Like, I don't know what the theory would be behind that, so I'm just going to say no, because I don't think it makes much sense. I mean, I guess it could be there could be some connection between, does Bran turn out to be the Night King? As I know some of those sort of weird theories, but I don't know. No, I'm going to say, because that wouldn't make much sense. So, the next 2 questions are who will be king at the end of the story and who will be queen at the end of the story. And his answers are Tyrion and Sansa, for reasons. I'm not sure. I quite like the idea of none of the characters we currently know being king or queen. I kind of like the idea of it, in fact, being Jon and Dany's children, or child. I'm not sure which I prefer. Them having one child or them having twins. I kind of like the idea of them having twins. Having, twin sons called Robb and Rhaegar. That's pretty cool. But I don't know. I feel it's highly unlikely to be anyone. I mean, I don't know why Tyrion would be king. He doesn't necessarily seem like he wants to be. He also has no real claim. So he's just kind of there, I guess. So why not? Question 10 is, will Daenerys die in childbirth? I think she will. It makes sense. Jon's mother died in childbirth, or died because of complications with childbirth. Dany's mum died in childbirth. There's a lot of, mothers dying in childbirth in the story. So I think it makes sense for Dany to die in childbirth. Giving birth to the twins. Robb and Rhaegar. There we go, now it's canon because I've said it twice. Question 11 is who delivers the final blow to the Night King? See, I don't know. I think it depends on whether you think he's going to be killed or healed. Healed, it'd probably have to, have to be someone like Sam, which is his answer. His answer is Sam. Straight up killing, no, I don't know. Jon probably, although he'd probably die in the process, which would make sense. I don't think Jon will survive, so. But I don't know. I don't know, it'd be interesting to see actually what they do with the Night King. So, question 12 is Bran the Night King? No. Question 13, will Arya and Gendry form a relationship, a loving relationship? I don't know, I want them to. That'd be quite nice, but I don't necessarily think so. Again, I'm not really sure that's what Arya's looking for in life. It'd be nice though. Gendry could be, Lord of Storm's End, and I could be his wife, but I'm not quite sure that's where her story's going. Question 14 is, will Dany have a baby? Yes, I believe she will. So, the next few questions are, will Dany and Jon marry? No, I don't think so. Why would they? I don't see why Jon would have a problem with having a bastard. It's kind of his identity now. He hated it a lot early on, but he seems to be fine with it now. Will Jon ride a dragon? I hope so, that'd be quite cool. There are only 2 dragons left on Team Not Dead, so that'd be quite nice. He's a Targaryen, so it makes sense. But also, possibly not. I mean, it depends. The show does a lot of things for the sake of being cool, without necessarily any sort of logic behind them. So it's quite possible that Jon will end up riding a dragon. Who knows? Question 17 is, does Cersei become a Night's Queen? No. That's a thing. If you just watch the show, you're not going to quite know what that is. So I'm sorry, but go and watch videos about it. But no, I don't think she will. I don't think that makes much sense. I don't think she'll be involved at all in the whole White Walker thing. That will happen in the north, and then they'll go down to the south with significantly less characters to defeat her, and possibly the Golden Company will switch sides. Although I'm not sure they're going to have really much to do with it. They're just going to be an army. I don't think they're going to be specifically the Golden Company from the books. They'll just be an army, and they've just chosen the name the Golden Company because it's a name fans will recognise. Question 18 is, will Sam deliver Dany's baby? Possibly. I quite like the idea of that. You know, he's the only one who's anywhere near being a maester, so why not? Question 19 and 20 are, will Jon Snow be legitimised either as a Targaryen or as a Stark? No. Being a bastard is kind of his identity now, so I don't really see what would be the point of him being legitimised. Will Cersei be pardoned for her crimes? I don't really think so. I don't really know. I haven't really formed many opinions on the ending of Cersei's story, just because it's not really something that that has come into much of the forefront. I mean, even in the trailers, it's sort of very White Walker heavy. So, although none of my answers for this are based on the trailers, I had this idea for the video long before the trailers came out, and I just haven't had time to do it yet. But I don't know. I don't reckon she will be pardoned. It's not fully. I mean, you know, she did blow up the Sept of Baelor and kill God knows how many people, so I don't think so. Question 22, will they forge new Valyrian steel? Probably not. They might reforge some Valyrian steel, but to forge new stuff, I don't think so, no. The next few questions are, will characters survive? So, does Jon survive? No. Does Dany survive? No. Does Bran survive? Probably. I don't know what exactly his ending will be, but I think he'll probably survive. Will Arya survive? That question's yes and no. I'll get to that in a minute. And will Sansa survive? Yes, I think so. Will Tyrion survive? Probably. Yeah. I like Tyrion, why not? Does Jaime survive? I hope so. I like Jaime. Does Samwell survive? I kind of hope so. I can't see a scenario in which he would die, so I think he'd probably survive. Question 31 is, who is Azor Ahai? I don't think anyone in the show gives much of a toss. I think it's just gonna be, at least in the show, it's just gonna be a prophecy that no one really fulfills. It's just a prophecy that where, you know, it's kind of a thing, but it isn't, you know. No one's going to fulfill it properly, it's just going to be a thing in the background. I don't think the show's going to really have time to dwell on who is or isn't Azor Ahai. I think it'll probably be whoever slays the Night King, or whoever, you know, does something significant. People will say, oh, this person is clearly Azor Ahai, where really, no one is. Question 32, is Lightbringer a sword, a person, or other? Again, I don't much think the show cares for prophecies and who is Azor Ahai and what is Lightbringer, all that kind of stuff. In the book you can make various predictions. I don't think the show's going to care very much, especially not with only, you know, it's only got 6 episodes. I don't really think they're going to dwell on, you know, things that could be left ambiguous, and so they don't give you an answer. And that's probably what they'll do. Question 33 is, who is the Valancourt? Which, if you don't know, it's a person who's going to kill Cersei. No one. I'm pretty sure that's the part of the prophecy that they leave out of the show, probably because they don't want to have it in the show. So no one, for purposes of the show. In the books, I think actually might be Tyrion. You know, I think it would make a lot more sense if you know, Cersei, because we have this thing that, you know, or people seem to say that in the books, whenever a character thinks something, they're always wrong. That isn't true, because a lot of times they actually get stuff right. But with prophecies, they are, you know, they do tend to be wrong. But I feel like it's so obvious for it to be Jaime, though, because Cersei thinks it's Tyrion, so therefore it can't be Tyrion, and Jaime is the younger of the twins, so it has to be Jaime. I think it would make more sense if it was actually Tyrion. But I don't know. Again, I don't think they much care. Question 34 is, who is a younger, more beautiful queen that will overthrow Cersei and eat her downfall? Again, I don't I don't really care. I don't think the show does. I think season 8 will just be about, let's fight the Night King, let's fight the Lannisters, let's have an ending that isn't necessarily happy, but isn't necessarily sad either. The end. I think that will be it. Will Bran discuss the push with Jaime Lannister? Yes, I think they kind of have to. They can't just gloss over it. It led to Bran being the person that he is. So yes, I think they will discuss it, and I think that makes sense. Question 36 is who will write Jaime's deeds in the White Book? And I actually agree with Bridge 4's answer to this one. I think it's quite funny, because his answer is, or the answers you can choose are Jaime, Brienne, Pod, or other. The options he gives you. And his answer is Brienne of Tarth, but not because Jaime is dead, but because Jaime's right-handed, and so he doesn't have a right hand, so he can't write his own deeds in the White Book. So Brienne has to do it for him. And I quite like that. That's quite a nice idea. Question 37 is... what was question 37? Right, sorry. Question 37 is, will baby Sam, this is Gilly's son, will he die or will he be sacrificed? I don't think so. I mean, possibly, but I'm not really sure that's the kind of tone the show's going to go for. And I don't really see baby Sam playing a very big part. He hasn't, you know, he hasn't really been involved in, you know, anything to do with the show for quite some time. I mean, possibly there's a theory that that's what the White Walkers are after, although that wouldn't explain why things happened before baby Sam was born. But you know, some people just, you know, don't like to look at evidence that contradicts what they believe. Question 38 is, will Brienne kiss anyone? Yeah, I don't see why not. She could kiss Jaime, you know. Why not? You know, have them fall in love. I mean, they're kind of already in love, but yeah. I mean, I kind of want Tormund and Brienne to get together. That's just because I like Tormund. Brienne's not into it, so that's not going to happen. The next three questions are things I don't think will be answered, which is the Night King a Stark? Is the Night King the Night's King from legend? And is he the bastard of Winterfell? Is he Bel the Bard's son? I don't think he is the Night's King. I feel like George R. R. Martin has said that the Night King and the Night's King are different characters, like they're not connected. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But again, I don't think the show's going to have time or really care to answer the lineage of, oh, you know, 1,000 years ago this happened and the result was a Night King. I don't massively think they're going to care. Maybe they will. Maybe I'm wrong, but the show doesn't seem to be putting that much effort into, you know, wrapping up these long lead stories. So maybe it'll just be like, oh, he's evil, let's go and kill him. Question 42 and 43 is, do all of the direwolves die and do all the dragons die? I think they will die. I think all of them will. Most of the direwolves are dead anyway. How many direwolves are left? It's just... oh no, maybe Nymeria survives. I can't see her playing much of a part in it, to be honest. That little moment where Arya and her see each other again, that was quite nice, but I don't think she'll come back. So maybe she'll survive, but we won't necessarily know that she survives. I think Ghost will die, and I think the other two remaining non-dead dragons will die. And Viserion is the one. Viserion? Yes, he's the one who became white. He'll probably die properly, because that, you know, otherwise you'd have a white dragon roaming around, and that would be fucking terrifying. Question 44, will Cersei blow up King's Landing? No, I don't think she will. I agree with Bridge 4, she'll probably try, but I don't think she will. Question 45 is, will there be any White Walkers after the War for the Dawn? No. That kind of defeats the point, you know, that sort of, you have the wall coming down and there's no more need for a Night's Watch and there's no more need for, you know, anything really. So I don't think there will be. It doesn't really make much sense if they just sort of skulk back off to the north. Then you have the same problem of, well, if they just go to the lands always winter. One, that doesn't help fix the seasons. George R. R. Martin has said that the seasons will go back to like normal cycle, and the reason they're not is probably linked to the White Walkers. So they kind of have to all, not necessarily all die. They could be cured, like I said before, but they will all cease to be White Walkers. Question 46 and 47. Will Brienne be knighted? Yes, I think she will. Makes sense. I think she deserves it. And will Podrick be knighted? No. I think it might be offered to him. Brienne might offer to knight Pod, but I think he might turn it down. He might choose to continue to be Brienne's squire. I think that might, you know, it's the kind of thing that Pod would do. Question 48. Will they reforge ice? No. I wouldn't really see the point, to be honest. So no. Question 49. Will Bran warg a dragon? No. No, he will not. Question 50. Will we see dragon eggs in the crypts of Winterfell? No. Question 51. Is there a secret entrance to the crypts? Yes. That we will actually probably find out. Will probably come into play. Bran knows lots of secrets about Winterfell, like how the walls are hollow and stuff. And seeing as the fight between the White Walkers and the good guys essentially seems to be at Winterfell, I think it would make sense if we found out there was a secret entrance or a secret exit even to get people out. We know that. I still don't want to base it on the trailers, but fuck it. There's a shot in the trailers of Varys and Gilly and Little Sam and some others down in the crypts, so there may be, you know, that might come into play. Or even, in fact, the White Walkers might know the secret entrance if they do want to reveal that the Night King, excuse me, is a Stark. He might know the secret entrance to the crypts, so maybe they'll enter that way and they'll kill, you know, those people. But I can't really see that happening, to be honest. Question 52. Is Cersei Gendry's mother? I think she might be. Only in the show, but I feel like it was kind of set up for that, because they've mentioned, Cersei mentions in season 1 to Catelyn that she has she has actually had one of Robert's children, which goes against the prophecy of Maggie the Frog, but who cares? She also is supposedly pregnant again, so you know that goes against it too. But that he was sick and he died. And there is a theory that the child didn't die; just kind of smuggled the child away, and the child is Gendry, and that's why Gendry is so well paid for. Like that's why he, you know, is given this sort of like this great apprenticeship. And Cersei says that she that she used to like pretend to like be like a tavern wench, and Gendry says that his mother worked in a tavern and that she had golden hair and stuff. And so there's some clues. So maybe she'll try and, you know, get Gendry on her side, because she knows that in fact Gendry isn't Robert's bastard. He is their legitimate firstborn child. Question 53. Is Jaime, and by extension Cersei, a bastard child of King Aerys? I don't know, possibly, but I don't really think it will be revealed. I don't know how they'd reveal that in the show, or how they'd reveal that in the books, really. I mean, everyone involved is dead. Tywin is dead, Joanna is dead, Aerys is dead, so I don't really know how that would come. I mean, I guess it could be in dreams, but the show doesn't do dreams very much, so it has Bran's visions, but it doesn't really have dreams. And unless Bran's going to spy on, you know, Aerys shagging Joanna, and then somehow infer that led specifically to Jaime and Cersei, I don't think they can reveal it. I guess unless you have one of them riding a dragon, although you don't necessarily have to. You know, there are lots. You know, you don't have to necessarily have dragon's blood to ride the dragon because of nettles and things. But that's not the point. I don't think that they are the bastard children of Aerys, but even if they are, I don't think it will be revealed in the show. I don't really see how they would do that. Question 54 is: does Howland Reed have Ned Stark's bones? Yes, possibly. Howland Reed has to come back in this. Has to come back. He's not. We've been in it really. But he has to appear in this series. It would make sense. So I think it makes sense for him to have Ned's bones. Why not? They were given to Catelyn. She would probably entrust it to someone that she trusted very dearly, like a Northern Lord. Uh, it's vaguely implied they may be back at Winterfell, but I don't know when they would have gotten there. So yes, Howland Reed probably has them. So the next two questions: do Hodor and Summer return as Whites? I think that'd be quite cool to see them both back, and how that would affect Bran. You know, Bran has this whole kind of, you know, distant kind of like super, you know, like a hero thing going on. He's a bit like you know, he's acting a bit like a robot, and I think it could sort of rehumanise him if he sees Hodor and Summer, and this time they're trying to kill him. Question 57. This will lead me to my long answer of the questions previous. Does Melisandre raise Arya from the dead? I think she does. I think Arya will die and she'll be brought back to life. I think Melisandre will probably die in the process. She'll probably use her... She'll probably do what Beric Dondarrion does in the books and give his life force to Lady Stoneheart, who's obviously Catelyn. I think Melisandre will do something like that. So instead of doing what Thoros of Myr did and simply raising Arya, I think she'll probably give her sort of life energy, her life force, or however you want to say it, to Arya in order for her to come back to life. I think what will happen is there will be at some point some kind of fight. Beric will fight the Mountain will kill Beric. Arya will notice this fight and she will run over. She will try and kill the Mountain. He is on her list. He's been on her list for several series. And so, if it possible, was he one of the first names on her list? Quite possibly. I can't remember actually when she started the list, but she probably actually was one of the first people on the list. Can you remember Harrenhal? I guess probably Cersei and Joffrey in there first because of Ned. And the Hound. So actually, no, probably not. But he has been on her list for quite some time, and I think it would make sense for her to, you know, try and kill him. But I don't think that she's going to succeed. I think the Mountain will kill her, and I think then Sandor will notice this, see Arya being killed, and will then be filled with rage. And I think that what he will then do is and now I fully, you know, no, this isn't going to happen like this. I just think this is cool. But I think that what should happen is that Sandor will then go up to the Mountain. He will pick, I don't know, maybe, you know, his sword gets broken. Maybe he fights Mountain for a bit, his sword gets broken. Maybe he just drops his sword gets lost, whatever, right? Then he picks up Beric Dondarrion's flaming sword. He overcomes his fear of fire for Arya Stark. He fights the Mountain. He kills the Mountain, because everyone wants fucking Clegane Bowl, so why not have it? He fights the Mountain, he kills the Mountain, but he is mortally wounded. Mortally wounded, yes. Because if he's just wounded, he could heal him. He's mortally wounded. He doesn't die in the fight. He's lying there. Melisandre, because Arya's the same age as Princess Shireen, she needs to make up for killing her. She gives her life force to Arya. It raises Arya. And then Arya then gives Sandor the gift of mercy. So he doesn't have to die slowly. She stabs him in the heart, you know, allows him to die. And that wraps up several stories. And I think it could also be interesting if Jon dies after that, Melisandre is no longer around to raise Jon. So it also makes Arya feel guilty because it's because she rushed in to try and kill the Mountain. It's because she ended up dying. That is why Jon is now permanently dead. Because Melisandre, because of her, was no longer around to raise Jon from the dead a second time. So I think that would be cool if that happened. I don't think it will happen, but it should. It should happen. Question 58. Will we see a narrator chronicling the story? Possibly. I'm not too sure. There have been some ideas of the last shot of the show will be George R.R. Martin as an old Sam Tarly, kind of like, you know, finishing this book kind of like Bilbo Baggins at the end of The Hobbit, be finishing this book, and he closes it, and it's, you know, it's called A Song of Ice and Fire, and he just kind of sits there, and well, I guess you have to have young Sam doing some kind of voiceover, because George R. R. Martin is American, and I don't know if he can do an English accent. So there's that idea. I don't think that will happen. I think it'll probably just end. I don't really think we need that, but maybe it will happen. I don't know. It depends on, you know, the kind of tone they want to end their show on. I think it could just end with, you know, with a sort of with an implied wrap up. If you end with an actual wrap up, like with a narrator, then you kind of have to, like, everyone's ending has to, you know, be like, this is how it ended. Whereas if you leave some things ambiguous by not having a narrator, I think that might work better. Because then it implies that there are more stories to be told, even if we're not going to actually see them. Which is how it works in the real world, and I think that would be how George would want to end A Song of Ice and Fire, or even just Game of Thrones TV show. Will there be a pact with the White Walkers? No, I don't think any of them will exist. So yeah, they can't be. Question 60 is will Sandor raise Sansa from the dead with the last kiss? No. I know there's a thing in the books where Sansa thinks back to the night that Sandor left King's Landing during the Battle of the Blackwater, and she thinks about him kissing her, but he didn't actually kiss her. When, like, actually in, I can say in real life, but in the actual story he doesn't kiss her, but she keeps thinking about it and thinks that he does kiss her. So I think in the books that probably come into it. In the show, there's no real connection between Sandor and Sansa. I don't even think Sansa's mentioned him after he buggered off from King's Landing. So I think it'd be a bit weird if suddenly, you know, that kind of thing happens. So probably not. Question 61. Will Sandor finally get a song from his little bird? I think it might be nice if he does. I mean, Sansa could sing to the Hound while Arya's giving him the gift of mercy. That could be quite nice. But again, it's not really something that they've sort of put much time into the show, like sort of, you know, this whole thing about Sandor and Sansa. So I don't necessarily think so. It would be nice though. Question 62 is will Gilly's C versus C mean something? They've definitely set something up, and there's the whole sun thing, where it's, you know, they think it means the sun is actually, you know, a child like someone's son. And I know some theories. Bridgefield's done a lot of videos about this, and I don't know, but they did seem to specifically set it up, so probably yeah, the whole these two words sound the same but they're spelled differently. That will probably come into something. Question 63, do they call a Great Council before the story ends? I don't know if there'll be time. I mean, I guess they could call one in the last episode. I guess still before the story ends. It's not, you know, before. It doesn't have to be early in the season. I think there could be one in the last episode. There'd be a Great Council to decide what's going to happen. Especially if Jon and Dany are both dead, and all that's left is their child or children. If it's going to be twins. Actually. If anyone cares, leave it in the comments down below what you'd rather their names be. Rhaegar, I think, is quite a good name for one of them, but then I can't decide whether I prefer the other twin to be called Robb or Ned. I know they're not going to have twins, so it doesn't really matter, but you know, which is better? Robb and Rhaegar, because it's alliteration, just sort of they go together, or Eddard and Rhaegar. I don't know. Anyway, there probably will be a Great Council of all the lords that are left, you know, and actually that'd be a good way to round up lots of characters, you know, because you could get Robin Arryn in the Vale. He could come back just for that one scene. I don't think the Vale's going to play a massive part in the story. You could also be the Great Council where you decide what happens to everyone. So like you decide, oh, there are no Baratheons left. Who's going to rule Storm's End? I don't think we actually know of any more houses from Storm's End in the show, or from the Stormlands rather, not Storm's End. So Gendry, I guess, could be legitimised as a Baratheon and then become Lord of Storm's End. I think that's nice. You know, Tyrion or one of the other Lannisters could get could get the Westerlands. I don't necessarily want Sam. Again, I think Natalia's the only other house we know from the Reach.